Okay, hopefully that's working. Alrighty, let's see. Everybody out there, just playing some tunes here, just kind of practicing, and the tune is Home Sweet Home. Clipping out a little bit, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I got this USB mic here. It's pretty handy. So anyway, folks, hope you're doing well out there. Where are you joining from? Haven't done one of these lives in a while. They're kind of fun. Keep me on my toes. Well, anyway, I got on here because I have this rhythm course, this beginner bluegrass rhythm course that just released to the world today. It's called Foundations of Bluegrass Rhythm Guitar. I don't know who I'm even talking to right now. Are we even bluegrass players out there? Or is it just me? Me and yeah, what's up? Yeah, rhythm guitar. It really is all about rhythm guitar. That's what I think. You know, it's like I'm playing all this dumb fancy stuff, and that's fun. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, what's up? But really, it's all about rhythm guitar. It's really just it's about serving the song, right? Playing your role. Yeah, what's up, Finn? What's up? Okay, you got Billy in the Low Ground down. Heck yeah. Yeah, that's a good tune. That's a great one to play rhythm on, right? Super simply. I say, oh, Billy in the Low Ground. That's when you can play pretty simple on, and then I'd go ahead and mess it up and play something stupid. But really, yeah, minor 4 in the B section. You can change the melody a little bit. Yeah, rhythm guitar is so much fun. I mean, rhythm guitar truly is 90% of what we're doing in bluegrass as guitar players. That's what makes it so important and so crucial to have just your basics down. Anybody out there know what the boom chuck is? The boom chuck. Who's got a good boom chuck? I bet there's somebody out there who's got at least a couple of you who I see in the chat who I know have a boom chuck going. One thing I like to do is like, what does Dan Tyminski sound like playing the boom chuck? You can't do it all down, so you gotta do an up. It's a chuck up. Like, I'm just saying, like, do the Dan Tyminski thing, like the intense swing, kind of like boom, 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 Dan Tyminski, intense strum, but like do it with the fewest amount of strums possible, but still get that. How do you do that? Just kind of funny. Let's see. That little run that you covered in the video. Oh. Okay, Eric is asking about that little run I did in a video from G to D. I think it was a Tony Rice related video. Yes, it was. Can you do that run without the fancy rhythm? Just do it with the boom chuck? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to catch that phrase on the and of two. So that might be a little bit funny with the boom chuck, which is just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's how there's this whole counting thing in bluegrass. It's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. But I count a boom chuck as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that phrase would be on the and of two. So 1, 2, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So I would just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? That boom. Again, I'll try it again. 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's the easiest solution in my mind. Is you go 1, boom chuck, boom, 2 and 3. Does that make sense? Let me think about boom 2, 3, 4, boom chuck. You could totally do boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. Right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So 1, 2, and then you immediately down, down, up, down, down. Does that make sense? That's the funny thing about boom chuck, right? Is that it's all downs. It's all downstrokes in this kind of strict alternate picking world. I'm just doing downs. Although you see my hand going back up, that's just to get to the right place again. Right? So whenever you're syncopating, or not even syncopating, just adding and 1, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you have to use an upstroke. So 1, 2, kind of cool against that boom chuck, right? Like, and that's kind of the beauty of a lot of bluegrass rhythm guitar, is that it's kind of subtle, and when you do, sorry for saying do, when you do something that is kind of out of left field or syncopated, if you're just going boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, that's just this beautiful palette, this canvas. And then once you sprinkle a little bit of red in there, it's like, whoa, all this white canvas and just that little bit of red. That's incredible. That's mind-blowing. Do I count in my head as I play? Absolutely not. Not when I play. That would be way too much. And, I don't think many people, at least I'll speak from my experience, I don't know too many people who are like really counting in their head. I have this, a story about that actually. I saw this band recently, Here Where I Live in Durango, Colorado, and just this incredible jazz, like math, metal group that's playing with all these really weird time signatures, like nuts stuff, 15, 8, just all this weird stuff. And somebody asked the bass player, who's responsible for holding everything down, how are you counting that, right? How are you counting all these weird time signatures? Like, how, I don't see your mouth moving. How are you counting? He's like, no counting, all melody. If you follow the phrasing of the melody, then, you know, basically you don't have to count because it makes sense because of the melody. So is that going to work all the time? I think that that should be your go-to for playing live. Practicing could be useful to count in your head as an exercise, but personally, I find counting in my head when I'm playing to be so distracting I can hardly play anymore. I mean, God, just counting to 10 in general is hard enough. Tough, you know, tough time with numbers. Uh-oh, now the requests are starting to come in. Okay. Man. I didn't think this was request hour. I was just coming on here to practice and talk about rhythm guitar. That I'm working on for a new album I'm doing. I don't know if you guys are gonna like it. It's not really bluegrass. Let's see if we can play. What do you do differently when backing different instruments? Yeah, that's such a great question, Josh. A lot of things, and it just depends, right? It depends on the context. Basically, what we're talking about though is adding more or subtracting. And to me, the two things you can add would be rhythm or harmony. So more right hand rhythmic kind of stuff, right? You can play a lot. You can play less. And you can play harmony, right? So instead of 1, 4, 5, 1, you go 1. Right? Or bass runs too. Right, so we're adding more or we're subtracting really, and it just depends on the context, right? Like if you're in a big band, a lot of stringed instruments, we're not all playing perfectly in time with each other, it might make sense to just simplify as much as possible, right? Now when the banjo kicks in, it might make sense to go, right? Because they can handle that. A lot of banjo players want you to do that. You know, when you're playing with just two instruments, leaving a lot of space, something that I like to do, right? It's a personal preference at the end of the day. I like to leave a lot of space. Right, use dynamics really well. Yeah, so it just really depends. There's so much that you can do and not do, really. That's almost what you should be thinking about. What should I not be doing in this situation with other instruments? That's almost a better framing. Forget what you can do. What should I not do? It's kind of funny. Yeah. What else? Is this a D28 or HD28? This is actually a 28 custom shop. It's got some specs that I prefer, and including a smaller nut, 11/16 nut up here, closer string spacing, which I like. Okay, curious about what your thoughts are about how going to the 5 chord can go up or down in pitch depending on the key. That, I'm not sure I have enough info from you, David, to really answer that question fully. What are your thoughts about going 5 chord up? Are you talking about like a melody, or are we talking about just chords, right? And a lot of that's going to depend on capo position if we're just talking about chords, right? But I need more info on that question. Yeah, from the 1 to the 5 specifically, and C it goes down, but going from... I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. That really just depends on like capo position, you know, and what is easily accessible, right? So yeah, you're totally right. When I'm in a G shape and I'm going up to a 5 chord, the next, right, there isn't a 5, there isn't a D that is lower than this G on this instrument. E is the lowest, right? Unless I went to drop D. So you're gonna go up, that totally, right? Right, to this D, which is higher than the G. But you're saying when you're in a C shape, right? Well then, to get to that 5 chord, you're gonna go, or sorry, that's a 4 chord. That G, right? But also you can get that G there, right? So I think what your question is getting at is really about these open chord shapes. And what you're saying is correct, like there are certain moves that maybe limit you when you're in a G, playing out of a G shape, right? And then maybe there are certain moves that you'll do when you're playing out of a C shape, right? And that's totally accurate and true. To be honest with you, I don't worry too much about that, and I more so let the song, the key of the song, dictate what I'm able to do, like physically on this instrument. You know, theoretically, you could just capo up high enough, right? Like if you want to play in, gosh, if you want to play in, what's a good example of this? Like, if you want to play in D, and you want that 5 chord to go up, right, that bass note, I mean, you could totally capo it at 7 and play a G shape, and then you could go, right? Right, so I don't know. I'm not as concerned about that. I more so look at that as like the type of constraints that allow me to be creative. Like, okay, here are my limitations of what these chord shapes are presenting to me and my options, and what can I do given those limitations? I don't know if that answers your questions. Cool. What is up, everybody? Got a nice crew here. What's up? Coated strings. Yeah, I play D'Addario XS. Are those coated? Or they that plastic coating, right, or whatever. I think it's just a part of playing guitar is that you're gonna get some of that. I mean, the easiest way to not make that sound when you're going from here up to here is to pick your hand up, fingers off the strings, and go like that, which is obviously kind of not the greatest idea, but it can work, right? You can just, right? It's possible. Favorite blue chip pick? Right now it's this one. What is this? Is that TAD? A little bit of sweat on there. TAD 1R60, because, you know, for a long time, I have all these picks right here actually. For a long time I was just like all rounded all day. Want that warm tone. But then I did some studio sessions and I was like, shoot, I don't know. I mean, it's just like really a minute detail. I don't even know if you could hear it on this microphone. Can you you tell if that's the rounded or the angled or the triangular? That was rounded. Can you tell the difference? I don't know, but I felt like on the recording, this the triangular, not rounded, kind of just cut through a little bit better. And so this one just gives me the option of, pick and choose. But I like a really thick, nice thick boy pick. Even acoustic players can gear talk for days. I mean, what else am I going to talk about? Like music? Come on. Anything but, right? Okay, all right, folks. Anyway, I'm actually, this is fun, and I like these. What's up? Yeah, I like these comments. This is a cool crew. Sorry. I'm actually on here because I have a rhythm course that I just wanted to tell you all about. Beginner focused bluegrass rhythm course. You can go in the description of this live and check that out if you're interested in that type of thing. Got a lot of YouTube videos on here about rhythm guitar, and I love playing rhythm guitar, and I think you should focus on rhythm guitar. If you're getting into flat picking, like everyone's always like, oh, what should I work on? What should I work on? You should work on your rhythm guitar, because then you can play with anybody. You don't need to take a lead. And then if you sing too, and you can sing and play rhythm guitar, well, that's pretty much like the exact person I would want in my band. Really good rhythm, halfway decent singer, you're in. Cool. Yeah, anyway, it's at my website, alexgraffmusic.com, and 3 live Zoom sessions, and then also like this 14-day practice planner, which is like rhythm-specific practice planner with backing tracks and tabs and examples, yada yada, But I'm super excited about it, actually. And I think it's going to be super helpful for folks. Put a lot of work into it, that's for sure. Cool. When I play live, do I get trippy with pedals? Not really. I mean, pedals are just another world for me. Like, I know that once I get into pedals, I will never be seen again. Like, it's just such a wormhole. I play some electric, and I like the DL4. That one's kind of fun. It's like that enough is too much for me. Like a DL4 is like I'm at capacity with mental space for pedals. But I think there are a lot of incredible players, bluegrass, who use pedals, and I like it. And obviously Billy does, but a lot of folks and folks before him who were doing that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Favorite jazz track? That's, I'm not gonna be able to answer that. First one that comes to mind, first jazz track that comes to mind. Probably Blue Train by John Coltrane. I love that tune. Yeah, but it's just I don't know what key it's in. Probably in C. Just a blues. But I'm really digging this guitar player, Lage Lund. I don't know where he's from. He might be from Denmark. Lagelund. I think you say his name, Lage Lund. He's just like this super out there jazz guitarist, and he has some really good records that I dig a lot. Kind of out there and kind of weird, hard to. First time I listened to his newest album, it's just a trio. There's no piano player, so it's kind of hard to hear some of the harmony unless you really focus on the bass player. And I was like, it really didn't work for me until like I listened to it 2 or 3 times. I don't know if you ever have that experience where like first time you listen to it, it's like, meh, okay, and you're like, let me give it a try again. still kind of like, eh. Then it enters somehow into your brain though. And then you get drawn back to it. It's like, let me try that one last time. And suddenly it's like, whoa, this whole world is opened up. It's a cool thing about music. It's like, it takes maybe 2 or 3 times to set in sometimes, and that's fun. Cool. I'm just gonna stay on here for a couple more minutes, folks, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, play some more, I guess, just by myself here. Cool. Cutting through. If you're at a jam that's loud, this is such a great question, Josh. I hope you're still on here. Okay, the question is, if you're at a jam that's loud, do you sacrifice tone and technique for volume if need be? Or do you just play well and accept that it's super quiet? I do both. It just depends on the mood I'm in. It depends on how loud it is. You know, if it's a jam that I really, I want to be heard, like I'm in a scenario where I'm with like musicians who, like I haven't gotten to play with a lot, and I'm like really trying to have a musical conversation with them, or you know, something like that. I'll just try to play really loud, and it sucks, and it's really hard, and it's just like this negative feedback loop for a guitarist, where when you try to play loud, like really loud, and slam the strings, you get tense, which makes it harder to play, which makes you want to tense up more and play louder, and it's just this whole thing, and that's tough, and it's just like inescapable as a bluegrass guitarist. Like that just happens sometimes, you know. And then sometimes it's like, you know, maybe even in that same scenario, I'm like, do I trust this band to come down with me to my level? And do I even care, right? Like that's the other thing. Like maybe I'll just, you know, just do my own thing and just play a break and play the melody and play it nice and pretty and kind of satisfy myself with that. And if someone else hears it, great. And if the band doesn't come down, it's like, well, it's in the past anyway. But that's such a great question. It's just a depends answer. Anyway, great question. That's like the eternal struggle of a guitarist, isn't it? You know, I get a lot of inspiration from like David Greer and folks like, I don't know if I've never actually seen Kenny Smith like in a close circle jam. I don't know how loud he gets, but I think he just commands volume, so everyone gets, you know, when Kenny Smith is taking a break, you know, you better shut up. But Greer too, like, you know, he doesn't slam on the strings, like he doesn't get that huge volume, and that inspires me because it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to cut through. I'm just going to focus on playing the best I can. All right. Cool. A couple other questions. Anything for non-beginners in this course? Yeah, there's some things. You know, we get into more intermediate stuff. I mean, I would say all the beginner stuff is also laced with a little bit of advanced level stuff that I'm trying to sneak in there and make it seem like it's not advanced. There's a lot of intermediate stuff when it comes to the Nashville number system section. A lot of like ear training stuff that I think can be beginner, but a lot of people haven't begun with that. That I think is really, really important for bluegrass guitarists. And then also like towards the end, the last session, the third session, we're just going to go into subdividing into Jimmy Martin, rumble rhythm. We're going to go into advanced topics. And so, yeah, there definitely is some stuff that is just not exclusively beginner in the course. Absolutely. Yeah, pedals are sick. Yeah, that's funny. Heck yeah. Yeah, I was a jazz musician player. I wouldn't call myself a jazz musician. I take that back. I was an attempted jazz musician originally before bluegrass. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Josh, let me know if you have any more questions. Just feel free to reach out to me. I don't know if you, I don't know, just here, leave a comment somewhere if you have more questions, or reach out to me. Gosh, I don't know if I put my email out there on that site, but if you use Instagram, I use Instagram a bunch. You can DM me or reach out to me. Email me at the Alex Graff Music email. But yeah, man. All right, folks. Anyway, my rhythm course is out today. I hope you check it out. It's on my website, alexgraffmusic.com. And oh, what's up, Brian? You're in there. I can't wait to work with you some. I think we're at about, it's a pretty small crew right now, so it's pretty cool. It's gonna be a pretty intimate set of lessons. Everyone's going to get a pretty personalized experience at the current moment, which is actually, it's good for you. So yeah, just a handful, a dozen or so. But I hope more folks will join. But also, if it's just that small crew, I mean, it's gonna be pretty fun. We're all gonna get to know each other pretty well. So cool. Well, have a good night, everyone. Leave you with that chord to kind of ponder.